welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another rant stroke thought of the day. And we had to do this one really. Yes, we're talking about the goal that was never more, was disallowed, was ruled out. Yes, poor Elliot Anderson, his first ever goal for Newcastle United at senior level in the Premier League, ruled out by just ridiculous officiating, to be honest with you. Thankfully, we didn't need it. We still got the victory. We beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. Massive result for the club and to keep us in the Champions League run. But basically just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about this ridiculous decision, really, and just try and unpack, as to what in the exact fuck the referee is thinking about, really, and what the hell VAR are doing in this whole overall situation. So if anyone hadn't seen it, anyone hasn't watched it, basically, Nottingham Forest struggle to clear the ball. Falls to Sean Long, falls at Sean Longstaff, so to speak. Bounces off him. Isaac puts in a brilliant ball. Anderson, with a great header at the back stick, puts it in, to put us 2-1 in front at that particular time. Possibly could have went to win the game 3-1, which was actually my match prediction. So thanks a lot, officials. You ruined my match prediction as well. But thankfully we didn't need it. But it's not the point, really. It's this whole organisation, this whole setup of VAR is just not doing what it's meant to do. I've heard people say it's not the setup, it's the people that are operating it, and there was none more evidential point than this on Friday night, which is just awful officiating, really. So we've got a couple of the stills, and just before we do, just try to make sense of the rules. So Sky Sports pulled this up on Friday to try and explain the Law 11 offside rule of the game. And you can see some of the key language there. This was Gary Neville was on Sky Sports talking about this, and basically saying deliberate plays when a player has control of the ball with the possibility of either passing the ball to a teammate or gaining possession of the ball or clearing the ball, e.g. by kicking or heading it. The following criteria should be used as appropriate indicators that a player was in control of the ball and as a result deliberately played the ball. The ball travelled from distance and the player had a clear view of it. The ball was not moving quickly, which is very much evidential in this particular case. The direction of the ball was not unexpected. The player had time to coordinate his body movement by jumping or instinctively stretching. A ball moving on the ground is easier to play than a ball in the air. So just bear all that in mind, and bear in mind that Paul Tierney is supposed to be a professional referee, and that is supposed to be the law that this knacker has read up on and has been qualified to follow effectively. So we're just going to pull up a couple of the slides here, just try and get them in the right order. So this is the main thing here. So just before this particular piece of play, Bruno has slipped the ball to Isaac. Isaac's trying to get the ball across goal, and this is what Felipe has done for Nottingham Forest. You can clearly see there he's stretching his leg out in very much a passing motion here. Now, keep an eye on Sean Longstaff at the back post. So when he passes that ball out, Sean Longstaff is in an offside position, but he's not active in the play. So Sean Longstaff isn't interfering in the play whatsoever. Felipe could pass that back to his goalkeeper. He could put that in the back of the net, or he could put it out for a corner. So Sean Longstaff is not involved in this play whatsoever. So that's another angle over there, just so you can see it. You can clearly see Sean Longstaff is offside. Alexander Isak is not offside, who Bruno passed the ball to. So bear that in mind. So this is what happened after the pass. So Felipe passed the ball across, and then his defensive partner is Niakate, I think it is, has then gone on to the ball. So Felipe's pass hasn't gone to a Newcastle player. It's gone to another Nottingham Forest player. So that is not an offside. And then he smashes the ball off Sean Longstaff. And shortly after that, Alexander Isak, you can see, who sat in his arse, the ball comes back to him from that deflection. He then pulls out a superb cross to the back stick, which Elliot Anderson then, jumps like a salmon and heads in the back of the net. Now, the weird thing about all of that, to me, not one point in that play is Sean Longstaff basically affecting the play. He's not blocking the goalkeeper. He's not interfering in the play. He's at the back post. Yes, he's in an offside position, but he's not involved in the play. When the ball is played by Felipe, it's not a deflection. This is the weird thing that I can't understand. So Paul Tierney goes to the monitor, and he stares at the monitor for quite a period of time. And even the VAR official, I think, gets this wrong as well. They're trying to insinuate once again that this was a deflection and not an active pass effectively or deliberate touch of the ball. You can clearly see once again looking at it, it's a deliberate touch of the ball. He's not stretched to clear that. He's not out of control of his body motion. He's not going down with his foot in the air. He's physically stretched that out to pass that either back to the keeper or to one of his teammates or whatever it may be. So that is not an offside position. Sean Longstaff is not involved in that play at that particular time. It's fucking mental, really, how the referee has seen that and basically thought that should have been disallowed. I mean, Gary Neville couldn't believe it. In the Sky Studios. So just to kind of sum this up, I suppose, in a nutshell, really, is that if it was a deflection and it falls to the back post there to Sean Longstaff, he's offside. If Sean Longstaff takes a shot and scores a goal, he's offside there. But because the ball has been deliberately played across the goal back to his teammate, and then he's then laced it off Sean Longstaff for a deflection, then he's not offside, which is just the fucking craziest thing I've ever seen. And I can't understand how a paid official can't see that. So, talking about a paid official, ex-paid officials, Keith Hackett, ex-Premier League referee, I believe it is, he just basically said the VAR was wrong to rule out the Newcastle United goal under the Law 11 rule. The Forest defender made a deliberate play. Therefore, the Newcastle United player should not have been ruled offside. So the goal should have stood. Which again, these are former referees. It just goes to show you the fucking state of refereeing at the minute. There's no point in having these fantastic, brilliant new toys where you've got a bunch of complete tosspots trying to organise a situation. That should never have ever been ruled offside whatsoever. I mean, thankfully, we didn't need it. And, we were smiling at the end, thanks to Kieran Trippier's wonderful shithousery grin there. Just to remind everybody, we did win the game. But we very well might not have won the game. We might have drawn the game, and then we would have been absolutely fucking seething. Eddie Howe would have been on the TV going mental if we'd drawn that game, because we were dominating that game. We deserved to win that game. We did win that game. But my point is that these referees are making such schoolboy errors in massive games. That could have been a relegation game. That could have been a title deciding game. Could you imagine at the end of the season if somebody needs a point or 3 points to stay in the league and something like that happens again and Tierney, this complete and utter fuckwit, makes a mistake like that again? I'd love to hear what the officials say about this. I'd love to hear what the footballing bodies have to say about this ridiculous decision. It's about time these people stood up and were accounted for their mistakes and their actions. No point saying you got it wrong after the fact. Yes, they might hide behind the fact that Newcastle got the 3 points, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But it's the bigger picture here. You need to sort your shit out, VAR. You need to sort your shit out, referee. You need to sort this out because you need to get on top of things. You need to make sure you're making the right decisions because there's major things at play here in the world of football, and you lot are fucking it up. So we just wanted to get on, have a bit of a rant about that. I'm sure there'll be more VAR things to rant about as the season goes on, because I don't trust any of these fucking idiots to get anything right, to be brutally honest with you. I think they can have the best toys in the world, but still know how to operate them. So, we only hope that football can learn from these things and try and make sure next time they don't make such a monumental mistake. But anyway, this is Chris with a rant stroke thought of the day. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you do, a little reminder, smash that subscribe button, come and join us. All free content, never more. 2 live shows, Mondays and Wednesdays. We won't be on this Monday, unfortunately, because the day job is taken over. So me and Mark will not be able to do what's going on. But the guys will be back on Wednesday with Evermore live at 7. So make sure you tune into that, and let's keep supporting that team. We're quite united until then. The lads are off sunning themselves in Dubai. I hope they have a cracking time, get themselves rested, and come back and keep this Champions League race on. This is Chris signing off, guys. We'll catch you later. Take it easy.